First came the discovery. Wreckage of the AirAsia plane dotted across the Java Sea, and floating nearby, numerous bodies. Already recovered from the water, someone's possessions. Then came this. The crushing, all-consuming weight of grief. The realization of the relatives that their loved ones are dead. For some, the news was just too much. So overwhelming, they fainted. For 3 days after the plane disappeared, some held on to the hope it had crash-landed, that those on board were still alive. Others had already feared the worst, but confirmation of those fears is brutal nonetheless. The mayor of Surabaya, with her arm around a grieving relative, told him to be strong. It's God's will, she said. Our lives belong to God. The president, who just a few days ago led commemorations for the dead of 2004's Boxing Day tsunami, now has to lead his nation in grief once more. To the families, I feel your loss, he said, and we pray that all of you will be strengthened in the face of this tragedy. As the president was speaking, family and friends of the plane's pilot gathered outside his home. Inside, they took it in turns to pray for Captain Irianto, for a lost son and father. The government says the priority now is to recover all the bodies and the debris, and of course the all-important black box flight recorder, to try and establish what could have gone so catastrophically wrong to bring the airliner down. AirAsia's chief executive doesn't want to speculate on a possible cause. Some are pointing to bad weather, but he had this insight into the life of an airline boss.
It's probably an airline CEO's worst nightmare. After 13 years of flying millions of people, it is the worst feeling one could have. But we stay strong for the families out there to ensure that we can look after them.
So, at first light, the search teams will go out again. We now know where the plane crashed. We don't know why. Clive Myrie, BBC News in Surabaya, Indonesia.